Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. Well, it is a perfect day for us to spend the day out in this greenhouse. We've got a lot of work to do. We have some plants in here that we planted way back in fall that are ready for their final harvest. We were really blessed over this winter to have this raised bed just filled with greens for us to eat fresh over the winter. I'm excited to open it up for you guys so you can see where it's still at before we start harvesting. Look at you guys, just how beautiful everything is still looking. Now this half of this raised bed is almost all different kinds of lettuce. And while they still look pretty good, they are really at the end of their life. Lettuce doesn't grow forever. It's not a perennial. It will get to the point where it will bloom and go to seed. And at about that time, the leaves start getting a bit bitter tasting. So this is really the end of the season for the lettuce before it starts tasting bitter and before it starts flowering and producing seed. So we're gonna do a final harvest on here. There is a lot here, you guys. We cannot eat all this up before it goes bad in the refrigerator. So we are going to be packaging up a bunch of bags of lettuce for Kevin's family, for friends, for neighbors. And if we just still have too much, our animals are going to have a really nice treat today. Not only do we have lettuce, but we have some spinach in the back here, and we have some cilantro that I'm going to harvest and preserve for the summertime when I make salsas. And there's a bunch of radishes and stuff that just need to come out. They're done, and the pigs will have a great time with that. So we have a lot of harvesting to do today, but we also are hoping to get this completely replanted for the spring. Lots of work. Let's get started. Well, we harvested 11 bags like this. I'm going to go ahead and get these into the refrigerator so we can deliver these gifts to people. Now, it looks like there's a lot left, and there is really, but because they're also getting to the end of their life, we're starting to see some bugs in there, some white flies, some aphids. And while the pigs won't mind those, the people we're giving them to might. So we took the best of the best to share with our family, our friends, our neighbors, and the pigs and the chickens and the turkeys and everybody else. They're going to get the rest, and they will just really love it.
Now that we have all of the lettuce cut that we want to save, the rest of it we're just going to pull out. Now, we've got quite a storm headed our way. We're actually under a flash flood warning. It's kind of that time of year here in the Ozarks where we get a ton of rain. It's actually rained for the last 3 days pretty much straight. We've had a little break today, but there's more coming. So we're going to hurry. We're going to try to get this done. You might hear the turkeys in the background. It's starting to thunder, and that kind of freaks them out a little bit, so they're making a lot of noise. But we're going to try to get this done and get this stuff down to the pigs before this rain gets here. Hi, Myrtle. You want some lettuce? You want a salad, Mama? You guys, look how big the piglets are getting. They are getting huge.
They need some more.
Here's some more. Ginger, do you want a salad too? Now Ginger is our newest pig, and we're still working to tame her up, so she's probably not going to be quite as eager as the others. Here, Ginger.
Those guys are waiting for their
All
turn.
right, let's give some to Charlie and Mildred. There you go, guys. I guess that's a good treat. You can see that storm rolling in. I don't think we have a whole lot of time before that gets here, so we need to hurry up and try to get the other half of this lettuce ripped out yet. I think I'm gonna just split the rest up between the pigs here. Want some more, Ginger? There you go. All right, Myrtle, you get the rest. That ought to keep you busy for a while.
Myrtle, you're eating like a pig. But it looks like you're in hog heaven.
Well, it's the next afternoon. We're back out in the greenhouse. We got rained out yesterday. That storm rolled up. We had to quick hurry. It started lightning quite a bit, and being in a metal hoop house is not the place you want to be in the middle of a lightning storm. So we quick pulled everything else out of the garden. You can see it's completely bare now, and we're ready to get started planting today.
We have several things that are going here. Most of them, though, are seeds, but we do have some transplants that we started in the sprout house that are going to go in here. So we're going to work one section at a time. We'll bring you along in each section. We're starting this garden by planting all of the seeds that we're going to be starting. We've got lots of them, but there's been one tool that we've discovered over the last couple years that has been really helpful for us, so that we can maximize the amount of growing space that we have here and grow as much food as we possibly can. That is based on the square foot gardening method, and we have been using this gadget, which is called a seeding square. You can buy this on Amazon. We have two of them, one for Kevin and one for me. One of the tricky things about using the square foot method is figuring out how many plants you can plant in each square foot. One nice thing about the seeding square is that there are directions. When you're planting lettuce or carrots or kohlrabi or whatever, they have a spreadsheet that tells you how many seeds per square foot you'll want to plant. So for instance, we're starting with carrots. Carrots is one of those plants that you plant 16 seeds per square foot. So we're going to start off by laying this down into the soil, and we'll be able to plant our seeds right through these red holes, and we'll have the perfect spacing just for carrots. We'll move on to whatever's next, and we'll continue referencing that spreadsheet that is available with the seeding square.
We're going to be planting two different types of carrots in our garden today. We're going to plant 3 rows of carrots, so a row and a half of each type. We're planting two different types. We're planting the Scarlet Nantes, which is a variety that we've done quite a few times in the past, and then also the Danvers 126. Both of these we just picked up at Walmart. These are both, pretty common varieties, but they both do really well in our climate. So we're going to get started using the seeding squares to lay everything out here and get our seeds planted.
So we're moving on to the next big section, and that is our lettuces. Over the winter, we had a fantastic harvest. We had tons of different varieties, and it was amazing. But for spring, we've narrowed it down to 4 different varieties, our most favorite from over the winter. So each variety will have 6 square feet to grow. The first variety we're going to be planting, which was one of our favorites, is Forellenschluss. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it was absolutely amazing. These are from Baker Creek. The next one is a really common variety. It's a romaine type lettuce, the Paris Island Koss. Absolutely beautiful and tasty. The next 2 are red lettuces. The variety Lunix was absolutely gorgeous and amazing. And then finally Merlot, such a beautiful deep red lettuce. So those are the 4 varieties we're going to be planting. I'm going to plant 2, Kevin will plant 2, and it'll get done quickly. Using the seeding square for the lettuces, if you're planting head lettuce and you're just going to let it grow big until you're ready to harvest the whole head, you'll want to plant 4 heads or 4 plants per square foot. So you would use the blue circles. But because we're going to be harvesting this as leaf lettuce, we're actually going to up it to 9 plants per square foot. So we'll be using the yellow dots. The seeding squares also come with a little dibble, and you can use that to poke down through each of the holes and make a little hole for your seeds. Some seeds need bigger holes to be planted in and planted further down into the soil. Others don't need any, actually. The carrots that we planted should be about a ½ inch into the ground. And the lettuce, actually, we just planted on the surface. And then after that, we just kind of ruffle the soil up a little bit so it just goes down into the tiny cracks, because they actually need light to germinate, and so you don't want them under too much soil.
All right, these seeds right here are going to put us past the halfway point in the garden, so we're almost half done. We got 3 things that we're going to plant right now. We're going to do some 2 types of kohlrabi. We're going to do standard white kohlrabi called Delicacy White, and then we're also going to try some purple kohlrabi that actually one of our subscribers sent us. These are called Early Purple Vienna. If you guys haven't had kohlrabi, a lot of people haven't, you guys should try these. They are so good. Where I grew up in Wisconsin, everybody planted these in their gardens, and it's just it just reminds me of summertime. Personally, I just like them raw, sliced up with some salt on them. They're so good. And then the other thing that we're going to plant right now is some rutabagas. These are the American purple top rutabagas. Now we're also going to be planting purple top turnips later on, but these are rutabagas, and they're so good. So we're going to get these all planted right now, and again, this will put us past the halfway point. We're almost done. Now the kohlrabi and the rutabagas are both going to be just 4 per square. We've tried kohlrabi many times here in Missouri, and I'll be real honest, our success has not been very good. And I think it's because we're planting them too close together. And I think that that's what's caused our problems. The greens always are really good, and we harvest them for the greens, but a lot of times they don't actually get the bulbs on them. And I think that's because we're planting them too close. So today we're going to plant them the right way, and we're going to hope that we get some good harvest off of them. All right, we're done with all of the seeds that need to go into the garden. Now we're going to move on to transplants. We've had these things growing in the sprout house for the last 6 weeks or so. We have cabbage and cauliflower that we're going to be putting into the raised bed today. We're going to do 3 rows of cauliflower, 2 rows of cabbage. We're going to get these all in yet today. This is the last thing we need to do to get this entire garden planted.
Both the cabbage and the cauliflower, we're planting 18 inches apart in both directions. That's really the minimum amount you want to plant those away from each other before they'll just get too crowded.
The entire garden is planted, so Sarah's watering in all of the seeds right now. As soon as everything is watered, we're going to go down and give another bucket full of things to the pigs, everything that we pulled out of the garden yesterday, and we have a funny story to tell you guys before we leave today. Do you want some more lettuce, Myrtle? I think there's some cilantro in here for you today, too. Who would have thought that Myrtle was such a big salad eater? I think the piglets are all sleeping right now. Hopefully they'll come out in a minute. Hi, Ginger. Do you want some salad today, too? There you go. Hey Mildred, hey Charlie. You guys want some salad too? There you go. There you go. Well, the pigs are definitely enjoying the rest of the veggies out of the greenhouse. We're excited that you know, even when we can't use everything, at least it doesn't go to waste because the pigs or some animal on the homestead still gets it.
Now, before we're done for the day, we actually have a project that we need to get done tonight in the house.
Yeah, actually a pretty big project.
Yeah, we actually have to move all of our furniture out of our living room because something terrible and actually kind of pretty funny happened.
Funny now, but not necessarily funny at the moment.
No.
So tomorrow we're getting new flooring put in our living room, not because we wanted to, but because several weeks ago we left for the day, and honestly, we rarely go away for an entire day at a time, but a couple weeks ago we went to Springfield for the day to do some errands. And when we came back home, we realized that we had made a huge mistake.
Now, we don't show our beagles on videos very often because honestly, we just don't do a whole lot of videos inside where we're chilling. But we have 2 beagles. They're house dogs. We love them very, very much.
Bubba and Rosie.
Bubba and Rosie. But they can be a little bit mischievous. So generally when we leave the house, we look all over the place and make sure that there's nothing that they can get into and get into trouble. But that day, we missed something pretty important.
Right. So we left for the day and we didn't realize that we'd actually left sitting next to the couch a half gallon of fish fertilizer, fish emulsion fertilizer.
A bottle of liquid fish fertilizer.
Right. So we left that sitting next to the couch, and when we got home that evening, we realized that they had not only chewed open the bottle of the fish fertilizer, but spread it all over our living room. So not on any of the furniture or anything like that, but there was a spot probably, 3 feet in diameter right in the middle of our living room floor where all of that liquid fish fertilizer had soaked into the carpet, into the pad beneath the carpet, and into the floor below that.
It was like rotten fish pudding.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That had spilled on the carpeting, like Kevin said, soaked down in there. I did the best that I could to scoop it up with gloves on my hands.
And we actually have a carpet cleaner.
We do, yeah. So I scooped up as much as we could. I got up as much as I could with paper towels, and then I brought out my carpet cleaner, and I cleaned that spot 9 times.
Right.
And it was still so foul that we could barely breathe in the house.
Yeah. So eventually we got it pretty good. Although
okay.
I'll be honest, it's been almost a month now, and when you first walk in the house, it's still pretty bad.
And every time I vacuum, it just kicks up all of that smell. It's really bad.
Right.
So I'm so happy that tomorrow they're ripping out the carpet and they're actually going to replace it with those vinyl plank things. So it'll be a hard floor instead of carpeting.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing tomorrow. We're actually getting new floors put in the living room. Sometimes things happen and you can either be super upset or you can just kind of take a step back and laugh at them. That's what we're trying to do at this point, but it was pretty overwhelming when we first came home that day.
So you guys, that is our terrible story for the day to share with you guys. It's humorous only because we have nothing else to do. We have to laugh, otherwise we'll cry. So you guys, thanks so much for spending some time today where we planted the raised bed garden in our greenhouse and had a little bit of time here with the pigs. We really appreciate everybody who stops by whenever we release a video.
Don't forget that the absolute best way that you can help us here on our homestead is by sharing our videos on all of your social media. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.